Welcome to another installment of Finding a Job series. Today we're going to talk about the importance of determining your career goals. My name is Patrice Rice, and I'm the CEO and founder of Patrice & Associates Hospitality Recruiting. I've been recruiting and coaching people on how to find jobs for 25 years. I've been recognized as an expert in the job market by such publications as the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Washington Post, HR Magazine, Forbes, and many others. I've also appeared on television news shows to discuss today's job market. Please check out my free website for job seekers, patricecareerhelp.com. You will have a live person review your resume, receive 100 free resume cards with your contact info and short bio. You'll be able to check jobs on 1,000 job boards from my one site. Participate in weekly live seminars and ask questions. Use assessment tools to find the right career option, and much more. If you're a hospitality manager looking for a job, please apply on my website at patriceandassociates.com. If your background meets the needs of our client, a recruiter will give you a call. So like I said, today we're going to talk about determining your career goals and why that's so important. Once you have committed to making a job change, the very first thing you want to do is set specific goals. This applies to the individuals currently on the job market as well as individuals who are employed but that are open to new opportunities. Most individuals want to find a job that will provide them with personal satisfaction, competitive compensation, benefits, and the opportunity for growth. It's important to be realistic about current qualifications as well as the specific type of work you want to do. A self-appraisal process can help you fine-tune your career objectives. In the next coming slides, we're going to talk about how to have a job appraisal and a personal appraisal to figure out what job is best for you. Why is that important? Because if you find a job that you like to do, that you spend the majority of your day doing, you will be happier, you will be a better job, and the chances of you being able to apply and get that job will be greatly improved. So let's talk about the personal appraisal side, okay? I want you to write down the answers. Write out the answers for the following questions, and realize your answers will also help you answer some of the difficult questions you'll be asked. These are some questions that are very often asked in an interview, and if you don't know yourself, you won't be able to answer them. Number one is I want you to honestly describe the kind of person you are. For example, are you a leader? Are you a follower? Write down a detailed description. Write down how your friends would describe you. Be honest. What do you want to accomplish with your life? What is your purpose? What role does your job play in your life? What impact do you have on other people? What are your accomplishments to date? Are you satisfied with them? What role does money play in your values? Is your career the center of your life or just a part of it? What are your main interests? What do you enjoy the most? What displeases you the most? What ignites your passion? And what are your core values? Take some time when you're doing this. You can freeze any of these screens and pause it whenever you want so that you can take a look at the questions, think about them as you're writing them down. This is getting to know you, to know what makes you tick, to know what makes you happy, to know what kind of environment you would best be suited for. Again, these are very important when interviewing for a job because if you go into an interview with enthusiasm and excitement about the position that is being advertised, then you're going to be doing better on the interview because you're going to be wanting that job. You're going to be excited. If you're just there about a job you really don't care about but you need a job, believe me, it will come across in the interview and you will not get hired. Employers want to hire people that are excited about the job and want to go to work for their particular company. Now let's talk about the job appraisal. Start with your most recent employer and then work back towards your graduation. So start with your most recent employer, your last job or your current job, and then let's work backwards until you graduated, either high school or college. Describe in detail each job, including your title, company, responsibilities, salary, accomplishments, successes, failures, and your reason for leaving. That's a big one, so take some time to do that. What are your most marketable skills? What skills do you possess that are transferable? This is very important. If you have skills in your particular industry that can transfer to another industry, it's very important that you show that in the interview. I did this for this company, which means I can do this for your company. So really think about what skills you have honed and really done well with, and that you're really highly skilled in and successful in certain areas, and how that might transfer to another company or another industry. How would you change your job history? In your career to date, what responsibilities have you enjoyed the most? Why? Why do you think that's important? Well, because if you find a job that has similar responsibilities to a job you've had in the past where you really enjoyed those responsibilities, again, that's going to shine through in the interview. We're talking about targeting your job search. We're talking about targeting companies that are best for you, but if they're best for you, that means you're going to interview the best with them, which increases your chances of getting the job. We're talking about trying to work smarter, not necessarily harder. We're talking about a targeted approach to your jobs, to your job search. What kind of job do you think would be a perfect match for your talents and interests? What responsibilities do you want to avoid? How prepared are you for that type of responsibility? If you want to advance in your career, are you prepared to pay the price, work longer hours, have more pressure? What have your superiors or what have your supervisors thought about you as an employee? Can your work make you happier? Should it? If you've been fired from any job, what was the reason? What was the reason you were fired? Is there anything that you would need to change going into your next job? Was there a lesson learned there that perhaps can benefit you moving forward? And that's important if you have an interview. And if somebody says you were terminated, why were you terminated? Well, you have to be honest, because they could just check your references and find out. But if you say, I've learned for that, and then in my next job I did this to improve that, and they just loved me. What have you done to improve your weaknesses? How long do you want to work before retirement? Your answers to these highly personal questions should help you see more clearly who you are, what you want, what your top talents are, and what you realistically have to offer. They should also reveal what you don't want and what you can't do. It's important to evaluate any objective you're considering in light of your answers to those questions. If there's something you really don't want to do, then don't apply for that job unless it's a last resort. Most people are just throwing their resumes out there today and hope they get a bite, rather than making a targeted job search based on their skills, their successes, and their transferable skills. If you do that, your chances of being able to sell yourself in an interview to an employer and help them see you are the right person for the job are greatly enhanced. There is one more exercise that I would suggest you complete. Everybody's heard of the 80-20 rule. 80% of what you achieve is a result of 20% of your efforts. Let me say that again. 80% of what you achieve is the result of 20% of your efforts. If your goals are to improve the quality of your life and the level of job you accept, figure out your best talents. What is the 20% of your actions that provides you with the 80% of your results. Your goal should be to spend the majority of your time using those top talents. These are also the talents you want to market to a future employer. The 80-20 rule also works in your job search. 80% of the results that you achieve is directly connected to 20% of what you are currently doing as your job search. I'm going to repeat this one too. 80% of the results that you achieve is directly connected to 20% of what you are currently doing as your job search. Determine what is most effective use of your time. If you do more of the 20%, you enjoy better results in your search and will obviously book more interviews for yourself. Take time to list your top talents that gives you 80% of your results. This list is extremely important when you are determining your career goals. So at the end of this session, I really hope that you take the time to look at your strengths and personal weaknesses in your goals and look at your professional strengths, weaknesses, and things you enjoy doing to target your job search for those companies that you feel you would be a best match for. And if you interview with those companies, you are more likely to have a successful interview and be considered for the position. And if you write your resume in such a manner that shows how your skills can be an asset to that company, you are more than likely to get a phone call. I wish you much success in your job search.
Thank you. Please stand by.